Hello, this is David Bramlett, and today we are going to be talking about Axtrax NG and video integration with the Axtrax. We have three different softwares that we can integrate with at this point in time. We have the Vitrac software, which is the ROS layer. This is a purchasable software. However, you do have a free license that you can use for testing purposes, and this will allow you to use one camera along with the Axtrax to do testing. The Hikvision server software is again purchasable. It's purchasable in options of 1 to 64 readers, and that is the same with the Dahua. It is purchasable software. To begin our training with this, of course, we will have to install the Vitrac software. So if you did not install it when you installed the original Axtrax, we would just reopen our application, select agree, and choose Vitrac and hit the start button. We'll choose next. We'll accept the agreement. You will see if you have already had the Axtrax NG software installed and you are adding the Vitrac, you will see that it actually comes in, takes the server offline, and then of course it will reestablish this connection as we move forward. You can see here now that it's reestablishing our connection to the server. As we go through the Vitrac server setup, and there's two different ways that we would actually set this up. If there's going to be no activation, you're going to use the one free reader, you would choose no activation. If you've purchased your software, of course, you would use the internet activation, and you would put in your codes. This is our software that we use here in technical support. It can only be used once, so don't try to copy it, because you do want to give your server a password. I suggest lowercase admin, ADMIN. Leave the port. It's going to be application mode that you'll select. Now they're wanting us to set up the Vitrac broadcast server. Server title, ROS layer is good. We want to leave blank because we want to use the port 8080, all networks. We want to use scalable video. And that is all that we would do as far as setting up and installing the software. We do have other things that we need to set up on the server and identifying the cameras. So now we would want to make sure that our server is completely set up. I want to go into our server. We're going to log in. It's going to be, we set up the password admin, and now you'll see that we should have webcam. You can see me on the webcam. We are going to do a camera setup. to add an IP camera. This one is I am going to set up first is going to be the HIK IP camera. Go to properties. I'm going to go down to HIK vision. The camera that I have is the 702. I have to go to properties and I have to put in the IP address of that camera. And this one is IP address is 146. Our username is admin. Our password is 123456. I'll just do a quick ping to make sure that it's out there. As you can see, I was able to ping it. You can open it up from the browser to make sure that that camera is working. As I said, password for that our username is admin. Password is 12345. And there's my camera. Okay. Hit apply to this. Tell it OK. Next, I'm going to use motion detection from the camera itself. I am going to stream video and video motion. And that camera is now set up. Okay. I am going to come back and I am going to add a second camera, depending on whether you have the software. This one is going to be the Trend Net IP camera. We're going to go to the properties again. This is a Trend Net. It is the 762 IP. It is the 672p camera. Apply, tell it OK. I've got to go to properties and put in my IP address. 27 is the name. The user for this one is admin. Password is admin. And of course, your IP cameras have to be set up prior to this so that you'll have them in place. I'm going to use motion detection from this. I'm going to select video and video. And there is my all of my cameras. Here's my web. Here is my HIK. Here is my TrendNet. So at this point in time, I have my software set up so that I'm able to monitor. Now I will go and tie this into our AxtraxNG software. So the way that I do this is my first step is that I have to create a Vitrac server. The server IP address is going to be 127.0.0.1. Username and password for my Vitrac server as we had set up our admin. As you can see, now I'm connected to my server. My next step is to go to Vitrac. I'm going to add cameras, and you'll see that I have the HIK camera we added, I have the TrendNet, and then of course I have my webcam off of my PC just in case I want that. Then from this point we have two options that we can tie into the use of our software. If we go to readers and we go to access events, if I want to tie a camera in and be able to see a person when they swipe a badge, I would simply enable camera options by events. I'm going to, for purposes, use the IP camera for this. I'm going to show a snapshot, or I can do a pop-up live video, whichever I want. If I actually want to see this happening, be able to see who's there, I can do a pop-up window. I can monitor this video recording for approximately 10 seconds. I'll set up my second reader basically the same, and I'm going to use the TrendNet camera on this one, do a pop-up, monitor for approximately 10 seconds. Okay, now what should happen, hopefully, is that when I go and I swipe a badge, it's access granted, as you see on the bottom. Now I see who has swiped that badge. Of course, this is being recorded. I can go back and pull this up, and here's reader 1 on a different camera. Okay, the second option that I can do is that I can monitor a door held open or door forced open and get a video if something's going on with that. So if I check on reader 1 and I tell it that I'm going to monitor door held open and door forced open, and for testing purposes we're only going to have that door open for about 10 seconds. If I go into AC links, then I would build an AC link that is going to be a door. Because I have my monitor only set up on door 2 right now, I'm going to say this is a door forced open. I'm going to send this, I can send it out to a sounder, I can do a number of things, I can output to a piezo, but for right now, for simple purposes, I'm going to send it out to a siren. Siren sound on, okay. Now, I want to generate an alarm, so I go to my alarm handler. This alarm is door forced open. I'm going to do a pop-up. Here's where I select my camera. My camera for reader 2 is the TrendNet. Pop-up live video. I'm going to do a pop-up, and I'm going to do it for 10 seconds. Okay. So now I've created a event that if someone does a forced open on my door, that I will get a video pop-up. So in this particular case, if I open up without using my badge, you can see my input is opened on the bottom there. There goes my alarm, and there goes my video. Okay. Here is the alarm telling me that I did have forced door open, and I can do this with both forced open and I can do it with held open so that I am able to get video. Okay, the other two options that we have, as we had spoke earlier, are we do have the Hikvision servers and the Dahua. These are purchasable software. It's what's called a dongle. It's a USB plug-in, like a USB drive. And what you would do is you simply plug the dongle into a USB drive, and we go in and we create a server. The one that I have set up is on IP address 192.168.1.145. We're going to use port 8000. The username was admin and the password was 12345. As we spoke earlier, you can get from 1 to 64 channels. The test dongle that I have allows me to set all of them up. They would only see, depending on what they have purchased, how many channels they would have. I would tell that okay. And then what would happen is if I go to my actual server, I go hit add cameras. Now I have these 4 cameras available that are connected to my HIK DVR, and then I would assign those just like we were assigning with the Vitracs. When I go to my access events and I look at my cameras, of course, I now have all of the cameras off of that HIK that I have access to, that I can assign to that reader for access granted. Of course, it can be access denied, access recorded, or access logged, or as we set up also, I can still monitor those for door held open, door forced open. Okay, that's all I've got on this. If anyone has any questions, please contact me. Have a good day.